people will know that, hey, I'm still here and I'm still in business. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm super excited about this week's video. Again, we are home. We are working our way through this quarantine and COVID-19, but this week I really want to share what we can be doing as business owners, as people who had running businesses that maybe are being paused right now, or we're not sure when we're going to be able to go back to work. There are lots of things that we can do during this period to kind of keep operations running and to help us prepare to flourish once we are back from the quarantine. So last week I shared ideas of things you can do if you have a business idea but haven't quite started a business yet, and things that you can do during this period to really build up that business so that you can launch in the midst of this. But today I want to focus on those of us who already have businesses and, are being paused. Now, first of all, I want to say I am a wedding planner. I own a wedding planning company, and there are multiple weddings that I've had to reschedule during this period, right? So I'm not working on the weddings that I thought I would have during the spring. So I am right there with you, and I am feeling the pains that you're feeling and all of the uncertainty that you're feeling, because I have other weddings later in the summer and in the fall that we're also considering rescheduling as well. But in the midst of all that, I'm not going to stop working on my business, because I know that when this is over, I still want my business to thrive. So these are 5 things that I think that all business owners can do to ensure that your business continues to thrive even beyond this period, but they require you to work now. So number 1 is bookkeeping. Now, bookkeeping is one of those things that I think a lot of us small business owners just don't do. I also will admit that I don't always keep up with it as closely as I should, right? I may do my books like once every couple months. I know that sounds terrible, but I may not do the week-to-week books of managing, okay, this is what I spent this week, this is what I'm projecting as income, et cetera, et cetera. But this is something that we should get in the habit of doing, and definitely doing more. Of course, the IRS delayed income tax deadline to July, which helps, which gives us a little bit more time for those of us who haven't filed yet to kind of get our books together from last year. But I would also encourage you to start working on your books for this year and building a system that makes it easy for you to enter your expenses every month and stay on top of your expenses in bookkeeping. Because of course, it's more for us that own businesses. It's not only important that we pay our taxes at the end of the year, we also are supposed to pay quarterly. So you kind of do need to stay on top of your books to make sure that you're sending your estimated tax payments and you're on top of that. So at the end of the year, you don't end up with any penalties. This is really important for all of us. So bookkeeping is on the top of the list, and building a bookkeeping system. So that's definitely one thing that we all should be doing. I use a simple spreadsheet just because of the nature of my business. So I don't have a whole lot of expenses. Some of the expenses I have are large, but they tend to be a few per month. If you have a business that has more expenses, you may want to consider hiring a bookkeeper or using certain online systems. And I do have a few linked in the description below for you to consider as bookkeeping systems as well. Number 2, which I think is super important, is keeping up with social media. Now, I know that some people may feel that it's insensitive to post about your business during this period, but the truth is that you want to keep your product top of mind for your clients. Now, some people, believe it or not, are still buying in this period. I've had open houses during this period. I've met with clients. I've had new inquiries with clients during this period about weddings. Now, of course, those weddings are all far out. They're all next year, but I've had people who are still looking for what I do. So I have to stay on top of mine, and so you have to continue to post your product, repost old images, post that, you can't wait to get back to servicing your clients. Just post things that, and advertise to your clients. You want to keep up with your social media. Now, if you haven't been great with social media in the past, this is a great time for you to organize yourself and begin working on social media, which means going back through your cell phone, going back through your laptop and finding images of you working, finding images of your products, finding images of you servicing your clients, and putting those together and coming up with a social media strategy, and really building a habit now that hopefully will carry on even later once we're back to the hustle and bustle of life. Number 3, which is super important, but building a service brochure. Now, a brochure is something that you send to a client when they say, hey, I want to learn more about you, right? And you say, hey, we have 3 packages, we have 5 packages, we have 10 options, we have this, we have that. You want to start building out that service brochure. Now, if you sell products online, that service brochure may be a products page, and that's fine as well. But you want to build that out in an organized way, because there's a statistic that says that people buy once the pricing is clear, meaning that a lot of times people are more likely to buy things when pricing is on the website, when pricing is in a brochure, when it's clear and they can see, okay, this costs this costs this, and this costs that, versus having to call you first or have a meeting with you first, etc. So you want to make that as clear as possible. Even if you're not a business that puts your pricing on the website, you want to make sure that when people inquire, you can send them something that's pretty, that clearly explains what you do, and that lists your prices for them to review, talk about with whoever else is a decision maker in this buying process, and then move forward on. So this is a time that you want to build those pretty brochures. You can use Canva to build brochures. There are lots of templates online that you can find for building brochures. You can even use Word to build very simple brochures, or Microsoft Publisher. There's so much that you can use to build brochures. I use Honeybook as my system, and I build my brochures within that. You can find more information on Honeybook and getting 50% off of your Honeybook subscription through my link in the description as well. There's so many ways to build a brochure, but this is a great time to build one so that you can be clear with your clients about your pricing. Now, another thing that you want to do is start working on email reply templates. Why are email reply templates important? Well, because so many of us who run businesses get completely overwhelmed by our inboxes, right? It's this, people are asking us the same questions over and over and over and over and over again. And after a while, you know, some people just either spend all day in their inboxes, and some people just kind of give up and say, I don't feel like reading emails, and take days and days to reply. Neither one of those is good for anyone who's running a business. You don't want to be in your inbox all day because you have other things to do to run your business. And you also don't want to be ignoring clients for days or even weeks on end, because that's very unprofessional. If you're one of those people who does that, stop doing that. But on a serious note, you know, you really want to build email reply templates to make it easy. When someone says, oh, what's the next step for booking? You should have an email reply template for that, because that's a question that people are going to ask frequently. When someone says, hey, I'd like more information on your services, in addition to sending the brochure, you want to have an email reply template, because you're probably going to be saying the same stuff over and over and over again. When someone says, hey, what's your policy on cancellations? It should be in your contract. You also want to have an email reply template for that. For the things that people keep asking you over and over again, you literally should be able to copy and paste in your responses to people to make it easy for them. Now, I have made my email reply templates available through Honeybook, because that's what I use to send automated emails for certain processes. But this is something that you definitely want to implement in your business, because again, you may be slow right now, you may not have too many inquiries right now, but as soon as, you know, things get better in the United States and we're ready to launch back into our businesses, the phone calls, the emails, and all those things are going to start. And some of them are going to be quite urgent because people are trying to catch up on lost time, right? So you definitely want to start working on those email reply templates as well. The top tip that I have for you, if you watched last week's video, you probably have an idea of what this tip is going to be: keeping up with your website and keeping your website updated. Now, your website is the only real estate on the internet that you own. You do not own your Instagram page. Instagram can go down at any point. People can decide that they don't like Instagram at any point and stop using it. The only thing that you own is your website, and you want to keep this updated, right? Now, what this means is you want to update your blog. Google and other search engines look at how frequently you update your website to know whether or not your website and your business is still alive. Of course, anyone can throw up a website, which means that there are lots of websites that people throw up for businesses that have gone out of business, that no longer function, that no longer even use that website. Maybe they built another website and this website isn't really functional. So when you put up a website and you don't update it for years, that tells Google that, I don't know, this business may not be one that I want to recommend. This may not be something I want to put on my first page, second page, or even third page of search results, because it's never updated. So you want to keep your website updated and let Google know that, hey, I'm still here and I'm still in business. Another reason is because the more content you put up, the more searchable your site becomes. That's more words, it's more keywords that you're using. So you definitely want to keep your website updated so that people know that they can come to you. And also, you might be one of those people who's been like, oh man, when I have time, I'm going to completely overhaul my website. I hate my website and I can't wait to overhaul it. Guess what? Now's the perfect time to do that website overhaul and come up with a new look and feel for your website. Again, you can hire a web designer. There are lots of amazing web designers, but even if you don't have the funds to hire a web designer for hundreds or thousands of dollars, one thing that you can do is completely overhaul the website yourself. And I would recommend using Squarespace, or if you're slightly more technical, maybe even WordPress, to build your own website. And I'll give you a tip. I built both of my own websites. Statuesqueevents.com is built on WordPress, and facial.com is built on Squarespace. So I built both of them myself, and I can definitely attest to the fact that you also can build your own website if you are committed to the process and just investing a little bit of time. So that's something that you want to do. However, if you do have the funds to hire a graphic designer or a web designer, that's something that I also would recommend, because there are lots of people who do amazing work and literally build $1 million looking websites. So either way you want to go, this is a great time to invest that time into really revamping your style and your site. So let's recap, shall we? There are 5 things that you should be doing during this period for any kind of business. Number 1, your bookkeeping. Number 2, working on your social media, keeping it up to date. Or if you haven't been keeping it up to date, start working on your social media strategy. Number 3, building a service brochure to show people what you do. Number 4, building email reply templates for common questions that you get asked. And number 5, website updates so that Google and other search engines know that your website is still alive and that they should pitch it to people, all right? Now, I really hope that this has been helpful for you. Again, this is a really interesting period that we're in, where we're all quarantined, and it may be hard to know what to do next, or how to really work through the challenges we have in our businesses. But one thing I want to say is that we can't control the present. We can't control how long this quarantine lasts, but we can control our future. There's a lot about our future that we do have in control. So whether the quarantine lasts for 1 more month, whether it lasts for 6 more months, the one thing that you can control is making sure that you are ready, so that once it's over, you can hit the streets and really make your money and really service as many clients as possible. So I really hope to use this period to really buckle up on your business, catch up on lost time, and make it through this period just ready to thrive and ready to fly once we're at the end of the quarantine. All right, I really hope that this has been helpful. If you've made it this far, I really need you to do one thing for me right quick, and I think you already know what it is. I need you to hit that little red arrow and subscribe to my channel, all right? Because I share new tips every single week, and I will continue to do so. So subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on next week's tip. Also, if you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments. I answer every single comment, and I turn some of your comments into future videos. So if there's anything you want to see me talk about, list it there. And I also encourage you to share this with your friends, etc. Now on the next screen, I'll be showing you a few more of my videos in case there's anything there that you may want to see that's helpful for you. So make sure you stay tuned, watch another video, share this with someone else, and thank you so much for being part of my journey, all right? We're all gonna make it through this together.